talk about this too while I'm at it. When that doctor in China died, I think it was back in March. Because I know I had just went out to California, I think, when that happened. Yeah, and he went out, he had helped with the SARS crisis, and he wound up, dying. He went out there. He was trying to warn people, and Chinese government was telling him to be quiet, or they put him in jail, and he ended up dying. He ended up dying of the crisis, and I just remember with that, I felt really bad. Like, I think it happened right before I went to California. It was like the third week of March or something, and yeah, I felt really bad about that. And I want to go into why and what that means. I'm a world citizen. What that means is, I believe that we as a world, as a socialist left, have to work together to solve problems. And I believe that as we go forward, as things happen, as we have these crises that will happen as you watch the collapse of capitalism, we'll have no choice but to work together. No choice. And so people like that doctor should be triumphs. Those are like the brilliant people. Those are the overmen. Those are the people who are the captains of industry and captains of science. And so when he died like that, it just deeply bothered me. And nobody else understood why. I had a picture of him I used to look at before I go to sleep at night. I felt bad for him. That man went out there to warn people. And it also goes into this whole discussion about science and politics and foreign policy and all that, because these doctors and scientists are not necessarily political. But Trump has made everything political. And he's made everything about his reelection, including, threatening China, making comments about China, which are very irresponsible, to say the least. I just feel like whether it was him, the folks that died on Columbia and Challenger, these are our most brilliant people of society. Now, he's not a astrophysicist. He's not nothing like that. He's a doctor. I don't know what his degrees were. I don't think he was on that level of being an astronaut. But you're talking about very high IQ people, and I think most folks would agree with that. And so, I guess I just feel like as time goes forward, we as a world, we have to work together to solve problems. If we don't, what Trump represents with nationalism and fascism is another world war. That's what you'll get with Trump, eventually. If he was to stay in office forever. If he was to be like Putin and just stay in office forever, that's what you get. You would eventually get a world war. Because he has no thought about respecting other people's space. None of that. He doesn't care. Trump doesn't respect anybody. Doesn't even respect, his own people in his own country. And we're a divided country. We're a divided world. As by his political decisions, as by his hirings and firings, as by his public statements that are made, the world is a much more dangerous and intolerant place, I think. And I just, that's how I see that. The world is a much more dangerous place. So, that doctor, he should be alive today. He should be working in a lab, working on this disease. People will say, well, China killed him or something like that. I don't buy that. I think that much of what China does has to be looked at as a reflection of what America does. See, I'm the guy, I think that if you got a gang on the street that's really, really violent, to where they're like, fuck it, I'm willing to kill your kids. Like say I'm gonna get my friend Denzel, and I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to go shoot your mama's house. I'm willing to go kidnap your kids. I'm willing to go hurt your pastor. I'm willing to go shoot up your church. You know what I mean? If I'm that violent to where I just say fuck it, if I show up and it's a party in front of his yard, I'll kill everybody there if it means a 1% chance of getting to this. I think that when you do that, you make the rest of the environment you're in that much more dangerous. And that's what Trump has done. That's the point I try to make. I'm not a China, I'm not sitting up here lionizing China, not by any means. I don't want to go there, not by any means. But I'm not at war with China, man. I don't hate those people. I have no hatred for Chinese people or Koreans or none of that. I live in a country that is sliding further and further toward fascism. And it's a little scary. Sometimes I feel like when I look at Trump, I feel like I'm on a runaway train or I'm on a runaway bus. And there's a bunch of people on the bus who are like, yeah, run into the wall. Oh, okay, we didn't hit the wall. Well, run off the road. No, we didn't run off the road. And like we keep coming close and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh, look at that motherfucker, look at this. Ah! And Trump's like the drunk bus driver at the front that's just fucking swerving the wheel back and forth. Everybody's like, yeah, wreck the bus. And I'm like, dude, if you wreck the bus, a lot of us are going to get hurt, right? And they're like, we don't care. And in fact, you're lucky we even let you on the bus. That to me is what I see out here. And just as the bus is getting ready to run into I'm looking ahead and I see a damn sign that says road out. 5 miles, 10 miles ahead, road out, like them signs on the road. That's how I feel when Trump makes these statements about China or makes statements about Iran before the pandemic. I feel like, though, when he fires people because they don't agree with them, because they won't push his stupid snake oil remedies. That's to me what I'm looking at a society going, man, America is a failed state. America is a failed state. And I'm living around a bunch of morons and idiots that either don't care or want the government to collapse so they can have a race war. That's how I feel living in the South. Peace.